Do you think God lives in heaven, for he too is afraid of what he created? When Adam bit from the apple of Eden, the thing he introduced into the world was the idea of death, which caused the animals to attack one another in the idyllic Eden. The sacred apple symbolizing the collection of knowledge that God did not want for man to understand, as well as trusting both Adam and Eve to not partake in this to live in ignorant bliss. Yet here we are, in a world after the apple has been bitten, a world where FAPP exists. As the animals in Eden once descended on one another with ferocity and rage, FAPP has us take the role of these same animals, mimicking Adam and Eve's divine form, but perverting them as to symbolize the perversion the two introduced into the world. This is also highlighted by the skills system in the game, which encourage players to invest in skills which double as broad categories for their abilities they'll be able to take, each skill representing a sin or problem that Adam and Eve introduced into the world of some sort. Ultimately, the game is a D6 system, but it would be more accurate to describe it as a tactical D6 system, relying on the players choosing the correct tactics and abilities to manipulate their opponents and cause them to enter a state of bliss, mimicking and reminding them of their time in Eden before the fall. This system is very simple, overly simple even, as either guaranteed actions or a simple opposed check of rolling a D6 versus another D6 to see who rolls the highest. But it offers just a smidge of depth required to make it somewhat work. The main drawing point of the system is the FAPP, Faith and Providence Power dice, which can be added to any check, including damage, but they also serve as a major detriment as they are lost upon entering bliss, as well as reducing your total health by the number of them you actually had during a combat scenario. The bliss combat system is actually fairly interesting, as the system in place encourages players to target particular parts of their divine form as well as one another. For example, one may use one's head to target another one's leg to bite it. The combat reflecting the inhuman rage that once befell the innocent creatures after Adam's folly. The main issue with the game primarily resides in the fact that the system is so light and bare bones that most options tend to feel incredibly similar unless you undergo certain skill categories in an effort to be interesting, as well as most of the game being entirely focused on the conflict system. With options available to you, one could in theory attempt to min-max by simply not including certain aspects of the body. This game does require just enough of the GM oversight, yet needing you to juggle many aspects of it to make it work properly. Ideally, this game taking place after the destruction of Eden in the raw primal world would have a few more options to explore with a bit more meat on it, but the setting and the game are so intertwined one couldn't simply rip out the parts needed to replace them easily. In this Christian game, one must understand the infinite love of Christ and his Father, or to be subject to hell where they belong. My name is Notepad, and this was Christian Gamer Approved Game of FAPP. If you enjoyed, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Every little bit helps. Thank you. Have a blessed rest of the day. Wait a second, FAPP is that? Oh God!